välkomna till Bingolotto. Jag har skaffat mig en ny bil. Jag kanske läser i tidningarna. Det gäller att ha en sån här för säkerhets skull idag.
On the replay, we can see the wild ride that Kenny Paycox had in the Outlaw 35 Ford. The first jump, not bad at all. The machine landing pretty squarely on the first set of cars. It was the second set of cars that gave him the problems. Bouncing around and then hitting the second set sideways, that's where he broke the tie rod. On that landing, destroying the front end and giving the Florida resident no steering whatsoever. He coasts across the finish line with an elapsed time of 20.13 seconds. Well, Kenny Kelling in Bigfoot sets the pace with the quickest elapsed time of qualifying at 8.49 seconds. And indeed, that will lead the way at this point, putting Tommy Bryant's Pony Express number 2 at 9.13 seconds and the Thumper forward from Florida at 9.35 in the number 3 position. The next pair of machines in this qualifying round include in the far lane D.O. Wilson's incredible Virginia Giant, one of the most popular Ford monster trucks ever built out of the state of Virginia, from Winchester, Virginia to be exact. Wilson, the 14-year veteran of U.S. Harvard Association pulling, whether it be in funny cars or modified four-wheel drive trucks, this incredible $125,000 Ford, the Virginia Giant, is so popular on the eastern seaboard. But he will be up against a brand new piece of equipment, getting ready to fire up in the near lane. Kevin Dabney out of Tampa, Florida, another veteran monster truck campaigner with the brand new Chi-Town Hustler. Airborne for both machines. Dabney sideways, but still with the advantage. The Chi-Town Hustler machine almost sideways, and that one was too close to call. Dabney in the new Chi-Town Hustler machine just about going over. The supercharged, fuel-injected, small-block Chevrolet-powered rear-engine machine had one of the wildest rides of this qualifying round, and the finish was just flat too close to call at this point. On the replay, you can see D.O. Wilson in the Virginia Giant Ford's first airborne launch over the first set of cars, the body shaking around as he definitely came down hard on the front end of the truck. When he brought it down on the ground, it was still bouncing. When he hit the second set of cars, he barely got it leveled out, but when he hit it, it was sideways in the air and came down almost falling off the cars. Wilson, on a wild ride, kept his foot in the throttle for one of the closest finishes we've seen and gets an elapsed time of 9.34 seconds. Meanwhile, Kevin Dabney still trying to figure out the damage, if any, to the brand new Chi-Town Hustler Nissan King Cab. Here you can see Dabney sideways after a rough landing, trying to keep the machine straight, and there you see a tremendous amount of fluid spewing out of the front. It looks like it was the steering linkage and the steering fluid pump that went away for Kevin Dabney's brand new Chi-Town Hustler. The number 1 versus number 4 qualifiers on the starting line. In the near lane, number 1 qualifier Kenny Kelling in Bob Chandler's incredible Bigfoot, who led the field by more than 0.6 of a second over his opponent, D.O. Wilson, in the incredible Virginia Giant Ford with supercharged Ford power. And Shelley, they leave the starting line with a big all-shot advantage going to Kenny Kelling. D.O. Wilson trying to make up the difference, but he's not going to do it. And a wild ride for Kenny Kelling as Bigfoot almost goes over in the very last 2 cars, but D.O. Wilson still couldn't make up the difference, even with Kelling's unfortunate bounce. Well, both drivers seem to have their problems on this run. Kenny Kelling airborne almost over the entire first set of cars, but then he goes into the bouncing that has given him problems even in the qualifying rounds. He hits the second set of cars. He overshoots to the left just a little bit, comes down off the cars, but manages to keep it upright. The elapsed time, the quickest of the event, 7.43 seconds for Kenny Kelling and Bigfoot. On the starting line now, Tommy Bryant and the incredible Pony Express from Florida, the world's only Ford Mustang monster machine, and it looks like Bryant will get a bye run as the Outlaw 1935 Ford truck that we saw earlier run into front-end problems will not be able to make this round. Kenny Paycox from Park City, Florida, is unable to make the call, so it will be a single run and an automatic single run into the semis for Tommy Bryant's incredible Mustang. Once again, a little sideways coming off the first set of cars, and Bryant still manages to keep it on all machines, so that will advance him into the semifinal round without opposition. But it also means that in the next round, Tommy Bryant will be forced to take on Bigfoot. Tommy Bryant hits the first set of cars. As we see here on the replay, he still is having problems keeping that machine straight coming down off the first set of cars. But he never even thought about getting out of the throttle on this run. A great landing on the second set, and it's his quickest elapsed time. In fact, it ties Bigfoot's qualifying time, 8.49 seconds. The final battle in the first round of eliminations here at the U.S. Off-Road Association Super Bowl of Motorsports will pit this vehicle, the brand new Chi-Town Hustler Nissan King Cab with supercharged small block Chevrolet power in the back against Florida's own Thumper. The beautiful Ford in the near lane was quite impressive in qualifying, making it in the number 5 spot, only a few tenths of a second behind the number 2 man, Clint Daggett, and his brother Earl. Campaigning the big green Ford, and here is a piece of Florida monster equipment. The winner will go to the semifinal round. Remember, the quickest loser in this first round will also receive an automatic semifinal round berth. Staged and ready. The green flag drops, and a big hole shot for the Chi-Town Hustler. But Dabney in the Chi-Town machine gets a little squirrely. Thumper even more sideways, covering the cars on 2 wheels. But Kevin Dabney will automatically go to the semifinal round. A great ride with the brand new Chi-Town Hustler. Shelley, it looks like they fixed whatever the steering problem was with the brand new Chi-Town machine, and obviously it's back in form.
And we're glad to see it.
Meanwhile, Earl Daggett in the other lane had a tremendous ride with Thumper. His first run of the evening, under 9 seconds, even though it was bouncing all over the place. A tremendous ride. He did his best to keep it or bring it back on the cars at the end. In the 8.90 seconds, he'll go to the semifinal.
What a wild ride.
And this battle will determine which tank tread machine will take on the winner of the 4-wheel drive category yet to come. It will be the car killer of Butch Lowe from West Palm Beach. The Ford Bronco that you're looking at, based on a 1941 Army M4 tank chassis, taking on the machine that started it all, the tank revolution, the Virginia Beach Beast. The green flag comes down, and the whole shot goes to the Florida Ford, the car killer of Butch Lowe, with a full truck length advantage sideways over the last set of cars, but enough to take the win. And the Florida fans love every minute of it as the Florida Bronco of Butch Lowe will go on to take on the winner of the 4-wheel monster truck category here at the Super Bowl of Motorsports. Shelley?
It's an interesting contest when you get the monster trucks and the tanks together, because one doesn't get the height the other one has, but the other gets the speed. So we'll see if jumping or if the tread tires make the difference.
Oh, indeed. We still have to determine the winner of the 4-wheel category, and with Kenny Kelly and Bigfoot looking so strong in that division, it will be a battle if it comes down to the car killer Bronco and, of course, the big blue Ford F-350 known as Bigfoot. On the slow motion replay, it looked like Butch Lowe had everything going for him until he got a little sideways coming down off the first set of cars. At that point, when he hit the second dirt ramp, the machine was sideways, but he used that stick steering wheel to keep straight, going through at 8.43 seconds. And that'll be good enough to keep pace with any of the toughest of the monsters. In the other lane, the Virginia Beach Beast, however, had a slow start. When he hit the first set of cars, the machine seemed to be leaning quite heavily, but the second set looked pretty straight, Shelley.
Yeah, but he didn't get nearly the type of height that we've seen in some of these other tanks before.
Oh, the machine, even though as smooth as glass all the way across the finish line, goes through at 9.50 seconds. And that was not nearly enough to knock Butch Lowe out of the field.
We'll be back with more excitement here in Tampa right after this.
Stop here every day at 10. This week's motorsport highlights begin this evening at 7 with a Formula One film feature, Car Wars. Tomorrow at 9:30 we bring you round 6 of the British Touring Car Championships from Brands Hatch and the continuation of the BMW Vauxhall Duel. Wednesday at 9 there's International Speedway from Glasgow with the Swedes starting favourites. On Thursday at 9:30, Formula One, and we review all the action from the British Grand Prix with Inside Track. And on Friday at 8, Go! Marvellous motorsport racing your way here on Screen Sport. No words ring louder through the golfing world than The Open. Nick Faldo leads the charge at Lancashire's Royal Birkdale course in his title defence. Catch all the excitement of the opening day Thursday night at 10:30 on Screen Sport, the Golf Channel.
Whatever your sport, you'll find it by paging SportText, Europe's only teletext sport information service. SportText brings you all the latest sports news, Screen Sport program listings, and previews for forthcoming events. And the information is constantly updated. When the score's on the board, it's on SportText as well. And while you're informed on the winners and losers, you can be a winner yourself in fabulous SportText competitions. For a full index, call up SportText page 500.
Has this ever happened to you? What a mess. This shirt and blouse have had it. Or have they? Now, there's a simple way to deal with the most difficult stains. DD7. A super concentrated formula that removes stains but won't harm fabrics. Now where's the ink? Delicate silk, incredibly clean. Tar, iodine, blood, rust. DD7 gets rid of them all. Dull, grey-net curtains restored to a like new whiteness thanks to a soak in DD7. Imagine this is your washing machine. Dye from a red sock, ink, iodine. A little DD7 and goodbye to unwanted stains. Order DD7 today from only $6.95. Or we'll double your order for only £3 more. That's 2 tubes from only $9.95. Call your local number on screen now. Austria, Belgium, Denmark, Finland, France, Greece, Germany, Holland, Ireland, Norway, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, and the UK.
This will be the first round of championship mud racing action, and in the near lane, one of the best-known mud racers in the business, taking on one of the hottest drivers in U.S. Hot Rod Association action. Al Stebbins from Orange City, Florida, in the near lane with the infamous Black Magic Corvette. 514 cubic inches of fuel-injected, methanol-burning, nitrous oxide-injected 1982 Chevy Corvette, one of the original killers on the U.S. Hot Rod Association National Event Trail. But in the other lane, 5-time U.S. Hot Rod Association National Event winner Dale Hickey from Clearwater, Florida, in the 1927 Ford D-Roadster called Alcoholic 2. The last time we saw Hickey in the winner's circle was in New Orleans, Louisiana. Indeed, the fuel-injected, nitrous oxide-injected Chevrolet-powered machine of interesting displacement, only 377 cubic inches of small block Chevrolet, can give the Black Magic machine fits. Remember the track record here set by John Runner, 1.92 seconds. Tremendous race, and the Black Magic Corvette gets the first win. Sideways spin out for Hickey at the finish line, but the Black Magic Corvette of Stebbins lives up to its name. Originally one of the quickest and fastest mud racers ever conceived, it is still one of the all-time stormers in U.S. Hot Rod Association Championship mud racing. Dale Hickey's incredible street roadster launched a little bit sideways, but he did everything he could to keep it straight until the rear end started drifting at the finish line. Hickey gets sideways as he tries to steer away from the banner, but he hits the banner anyway. And at 2.26 seconds, it would have been an incredible run, but Shelley, hitting a banner is a disqualification. So in the other lane, Stebbins' incredible Black Magic Corvette launched like a rocket and was never headed at 2.13 seconds. Tremendous pass for a car that has been competitive for so long. Moving up to stage, Homer Cox in the near lane from Clearwater in the Jeep called Getting Off with small block Chevrolet power, taking on 50-year-old Jack King Sr. in the Excavator number 1. The green light comes on, the hole shot to Homer Cox, and Homer Cox manages to hold off Jack King Sr. with a hole shot. Tremendous battle, but in this instance, because of the hole shot by the machine in the near lane, the elapsed times may not have matched up. Indeed, Cox may have run much quicker in losing and still may have advanced. We'll have to wait and see. Jack King leaves the starting line plenty strong as the 50-year-old in the Excavator number 1 drives it through a little bit sideways of the shutdown with a tremendous 2.57 second run. But over the other lane, this incredible piece of equipment, the Getting Off Jeep, was right behind him by only 0.09 of a second. At 2.66 seconds, the Getting Off machine was behind by just a few feet at the finish line. One of the most unusual machines you'll ever see here in the near lane. This is Tony Yanis. Of all things, a 1988 Monte Carlo in the mud. 557 cubic inch cast iron Chevrolet rat motor with nitrous oxide injection and a 2-speed power glide transmission taking on this machine. The Grinnin' Barrett 1986 Ford Ranger of Dave Henson from Castleberry, Florida. There you get a chance to see the fuel-injected, methanol-burning, and nitrous oxide purging, as we just saw, Monte Carlo. However, Henson using a big block 427 Chevy motor in this Ford Ranger. The elapsed time to beat, 2.13 seconds by the Black Magic Corvette of Al Stebbins, still low ET. As they move up the stage. Waiting for the green flag, the lowrider Monte Carlo in the near lane against the high-flying four-wheel drive Chevy-powered Ranger. Problems for the Ranger and a tremendous run for Tony Yanis. That may be the quickest pass of this event. What a blast for the Tampa racer. The crowd goes berserk as the 557 cubic inch Chevrolet puts down one of the best runs of the night.
You can't blink at this place, you're going to miss all the excitement.
As we've pointed out, the quickest and fastest mud racers in the world each and every year. Here at the Super Bowl of Motorsports, the U.S. Hot Rod Association National Event Racing does not get any quicker than this. Well, I don't think anybody was ready for Tony Giannis' run in the right-hand lane. 2.27 seconds as the Grin and Barrett Ranger of Dave Henson ran into serious problems coasting on through at 5.95. But Shelley, that's only 0.14 of a second slower than the Black Magic machine. On the starting line, a piece of equipment that I think may be one of the most popular mud vehicles we have ever seen in the U.S. Hot Rod Association competition, and this is its first ever national event appearance. How about a 1955 Ford Thunderbird, the Dirty Bird, number 2, with fuel-injected, methanol-burning, nitrous oxide-injected Ford Wedge power. A beautiful piece of equipment, but he is up against one of the toughest drivers in the business.